Australian Institute for Disaster Resilience, AIDA, is the National Institute for Disaster Risk Reduction and Resilience. AIDA manages the development of the Australian Disaster Resilience Handbook collection on behalf of the Australian Government. Handbooks provide a focal point to coordinate, develop and endorse national principles that set the standard for good practice in disaster risk reduction and resilience across Australia. In 2021, AIDA produced Australia's inaugural Systemic Disaster Risk Handbook. It is an integral component of Australia's national disaster risk reduction and resilience guidance. The handbook was developed through a rigorous process of national consultation with subject matter experts and key stakeholders from across the risk reduction and resilience landscape, and draws on contemporary, international and national research and examples of leading practice. The handbook presents a series of foundational concepts and principles for systemic disaster risk reduction, inclusive governance and decision-making to support resilience and sustainability. In doing so, it fosters a disaster risk mindset to guide the evolution of good practice and innovative thought leadership to turn actions into outcomes. AIDA also sat down with leaders and decision makers from across the disaster risk and resilience landscape to explore their experiences and insights into the decision-making challenges and opportunities in today's risk context. We hope you enjoy this series of case study profiles and gain a greater understanding of how the handbook principles can be applied in practice.
The thing about climate change is that we all know that there is a body of science that's telling us this is all going to get worse and it's going to exaggerate the problems that we've got today. And so suddenly you've got to flip your thinking to being proactive as opposed to reactive, and foreshadowing something that may happen, but there is still a possibility it may not happen.
One of the things I think the skill set of a good planner is that we're able to crystallise a plethora of information and land it at a decision, whatever that may be.
When we understand cascading or clustered risks between different sectors, between people and businesses and governments, then we can make much better decisions about what matters.
We have more data than ever before. We've got amazing tools such as artificial intelligence that helps us interpret that data with greater insights. We can make better decisions.
Core to resilience planning is understanding local capacity and capability. It needs to place a great emphasis on community engagement, and we need to better understand the diversity, the needs, strengths and vulnerabilities that exist within those communities.
Risk assessment and management is not like cooking a chocolate cake or something where you just, read a set of instructions, throw in the ingredients, put it in the oven and out comes a risk assessment. It's a lot more involved and ambiguous than that.
If we're not engaging widely with the population of an urban centre, for example, not understanding how different organisations at government and business perceive those risks and also contribute to them, then we will not understand where those issues lie across the city. We have to work together and network to understand the risks.
With good building construction codes and making sure that we incentivise and encourage mitigation, the impacts of these things can be far less.
The role of leadership is to ensure that we capture the energy that comes out of that in our community to get them to shift their thinking to a better place.
We are the influencers, and I think if we take on board our responsibility in that regard, it'll be all the better for our communities going forward.